Can you believe it? Do you believe in miracles? It's okay. It's okay. I got a little co-host here today as Daddy's on Daddy Care. Say, hey, Ben, LSU, 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 hey, LSU, hey, LSU, hey. Tell him bye-bye. Sit right there so Daddy can watch you. How about them Tigers? Yay. Very impressive win. Guys, I got to be honest. I have to be honest. I did not expect that to come. All season long, LSU has shown offensively that they have had struggles in the running game, but they make sit right here, buddy. They make two very big adjustments in the offensive scheme when it comes to running the football, getting Jack Mashburn and a guy who I can't speak highly enough about in Marlon Martinez, the right guard who came in for Chase and Hines, who absolutely obliterated everybody that Florida sent at him. You guys, you better, I'm telling you, Marlon Martinez and this offensive line had one hell of a day. Ty Davis-Price getting the single-game rushing record. I'm not going to hear shit about Darius Geis. I don't want to get into LSU's political shit. He has a single-game rushing record in LSU history. How impressive. Very impressive performance. But let's do this. Before we get started, I got to talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys have been mentioning about BetOnline. I placed my bets today. I showed you. And look, a lot of people are probably upset because they picked Florida after all the surrounding things with Ed Orgeron, but they would have lost, and hopefully they did it on betonline.ag. It's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. Hats off to Brad Davis. I mean, look, they finally have found over the last two games, they have finally found a cohesive unit in this running attack. Finally have found a cohesive unit in this rushing attack. I can't speak enough of just schematically of what LSU did today. I mean, it was impressive. Look, when you run something and Florida can't stop it, you keep running it, and LSU just stayed simple. Max Johnson went 14 of 24 for 3 touchdowns, 133 yards. Ty Davis-Price getting 36 carries, 287 yards, 8 yards per carry, guys. 8 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. Josh Williams comes in, gets 2 carries for 28 yards. LSU ran the ball down Florida's throat. Can you believe it that this past week, all that we have been talking about, or all that I have been talking about, is Kentucky rushing for 330 yards, and today the flip side happens as LSU runs the football for 321 yards. Completely impressive. Completely impressive. Jason says, bro, we allowed 42 points. This ain't LSU football. Sorry. Well, it's not, and we can flip on to the other side. Look, as good as LSU was offensively, defensively, with a lot of the guys that are injured, it wasn't impressive. It was not impressive. Sit right here, buddy. It was not impressive at all. Sit right here, bud. If you're wondering who I'm talking to, it's my little son, Ben. I'm on daddy duty today. Ryan says, don't get too excited. You take away the 4 turnovers or different outcome. But you can't take away the 4 turnovers. They had the 4 turnovers. Guys, look, we're going to talk about Ed Orgeron. I still think that there are some things to come, and I'm not saying that this saves his job and all that kind of stuff because I get excited over LSU winning and people freak out. Like, let's not go there. Let's not go there yet. I'm just saying, Ryan says you take away the 4 turnovers, but guys, that's not realistically what happened. They did have the 4 turnovers. They did have a pick 6. So you got to give them in the first half. LSU's defense did some good things, and this shows the lack of depth that LSU has with all the injuries. Defensively, they got burnt out in the second half, and Anthony Richardson started picking them apart. He has the dumb interception there in the first half, and then the one to Damone Clark there in the second half. It's a bit, that's the things that turns the game. That's the things that turns the game. But if you're a Florida fan, how sick are you right now over the last 2 years? You've had this happen to you from LSU that had a depleted roster and a team that just really wasn't doing good. It's nuts. Bryce says Mullen and O can sit beside each other on the hot seat after this season, though. And it's true. And look, there's still a lot of murmurs. There's still a lot of whispers. There's still a lot of things that are going on that I'm hearing with Ed Orgeron. And that does not change this fact. Ed Orgeron said it before the game, but look, you got to give it to the players. You got to give it to this coaching staff. They had a good game plan coming into this game. They executed this game plan, and they were successful at doing it. Like, let's not get two things can be true at the same time. You can have two truths. Pooh Bear says, amazing what happens when you let your coordinators coordinate. Yeah, it's very true. It's very, very, very true. What's his name? Charles Reese said before the show that he was going to storm the field if LSU won. I don't see him doing that. Blake Quibido says pulling linemen and tight ends were blocking machines today. Yeah, both sides. Look, Anthony Bradford was another guy that had a lot of success. I mean, a guy who's going to play guard in the NFL, moves out to left tackle, and then, there were times that he pulled. And I think Marlon Martinez is the biggest. I think you give him Ty Davis Price, and Jack Mashburn, all ball, game balls at the end of this one, because by the third and fourth quarter, both defensive ends for Florida were just sitting there, and they wanted nothing to do with it. They wanted nothing to do with that pull counter. They wanted nothing to do with that gap scheme, and they clapped Florida all up and down the field. I mean, mega clap. LSU. That is what you call a game where you break somebody's will. Now, defensively, LSU still has issues after 2 weeks. 2 straight weeks, LSU has had issues defensively. But again, that's not going to change until LSU decides that they want to be more aggressive. Yeah, buddy. Until they want to start being more aggressive and do different things, because as long as they keep staying vanilla, LSU is going to have a lot of problems. They're going to have a lot of problems. And that's not that to me is more confusing from an Ed Orgeron perspective than anything. That to me is more confusing than anything of why they're so vanilla defensively. You got talent. You have guys like Mason Smith, Sage Ryan, young guys that are talented that came in. I still think Jay Ward played a decent game. He got exposed on a little bit of a pick play. Look, that's going to happen. But I thought that there were things that they did in the first half that were really successful. But anyway, Craig Schilling says, hashtag naked Jaybird. Yeah, Ben's getting big, man. It's been a while since y'all seen him. It's been a while since y'all seen the Benster. He's getting big, almost 3 now. Roderick says, about freaking time. It is about freaking time. It is about freaking time. Gino Vega says 82. Jack Mashburn was nasty. Yeah, all game long he was nasty. Jacob Cole says power scheme for the win. And look, guys, I'm not going to come out here and say, guys, I've been telling you so. I've been telling you so. I've been telling you so. But again, the last 6 weeks, I mean, we can document this. I've come out here on this show and said LSU needs to get to in their running game. They have to go to running power and gap schemes. They have to. And eventually, I guess they started listening, and they started having success. Why they did that and why they started having – it's not that – it's not like it was – any simple person who knows a lick of football knew that they were having success doing that in the running game, and they're going to continue to run it. They're going to continue to run it, and they're going to have success next week against Ole Miss doing it. They're going to have success next week against Ole Miss doing it. So, hats off to him. One thing I will say is that I was surprised about, I guess, and there's not a lot, I guess you could say that I was surprised that LSU ultimately, though, because they'd been so pass happy over the last first 6 weeks, I was surprised that you had Ty Davis Price run the ball for 36 times. That is where I'm more surprised about. I thought that LSU would eventually get away from it. LSU would go away from what they'd been doing all season, but finally they stuck with what worked. Again, you did some good things defensively. 4 interceptions, 1 you took to the house. LSU only giving up 13 points. Look, the Hail Mary at the end, that can't happen. Like, that can't happen. LSU still has some things that they got to clean up. If they get the defensive performances that they were having in the beginning of the season and they start having success offensively, this team can win games. And I think that this all but proves, like we have been talking about for weeks, everybody's saying LSU doesn't have talent, LSU doesn't have this, LSU doesn't have that. Guys, today LSU proved to you that they have the talent. It's just coaching and schemes. They were not able – here you go, buddy. Let's wipe your nose. There you go. That they just didn't have proper coaching and schematics. Like, confirmed now, right? I mean, let's not act like that's not confirmed. Go get your juice. It's in the living room. Next week, we won't have Ben with us, but for this week, we do. Quinn says, let's effing go. No matter what the records are, you got to play the game. Go Tigers, baby, forever. Yes, sir. Inside the Swamp says, love you, Blake. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you, sir, and you as well. As the LSU Tigers take down Florida 49-42 in a very interesting, very fun game. Nookie says, crowd was shocking to me. Shout out to all those that went out. Yeah, me too. Look, I thought that there would be 50, 60,000 people there, but look, a lot of people packed it out. And look, I mean, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of LSU fans that want to still go to games. The things that LSU was putting out and some of the media that got, this is the funny thing. A lot of people in the media this week said that they had confirmed that only 60,000 people were coming to the game. Well, how do you confirm that? And I think I said it this week, how do you confirm that? I was wrong because I thought, I was like, well, man, if this is what people saying, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was 50,000, but I was surprised by that too. Bundy says, go get in some blitz packages. They got to change something up defensively, guys. I mean, this is a win. They had a lot of success. I mean, like the 4th down call from Jake Peets, the symbol, they motioned, you guys all remember the 4th down touchdown, the play action, Jack Besh is covered. They send 3 guys in the direction of Jack. Florida sends 3 guys in the direction of Jack Besh. You only have 1 backside safety that's got to cover 2 people, and then he decides to cover the guy that's in the end zone, and then Jeray Jenkins is in the flat. Max jumps it off to Jeray, and then you get another touchdown. I mean, that was an impressive play call, and which begs me to ask the question, though, from Orgeron, where has some of this been all season? Now, Max struggled in the early parts of it, and they still had plays. You remember in the first half where LSU went max protection, only had 2 guys en route. Malik Neighbors was one of those guys that it seemed as if that he was trying to block. He didn't even know that it was a pass play called. So really 1 guy en route. But I thought the LSU O-line played fantastic today. The defense, though, however, at times I think that they, when you only send 4 guys and you can't get home, I mean, that's going to be an issue, and that's usually a problem. Josh Forbes says, you can't count us out when everyone picked against us. I knew we had a chance. That's true. And you got to give old Lou, not Lou, Lee Corso some credit. Lee Corso was the only one that picked LSU this morning. And it panned out. Devin Stops said 0 penalties for Florida. # wow. And what's crazy about Devin bringing this stat in here is there was games that LSU would only have 1 and or no penalties. And today they were penalized and they win the football game. Well, that is crazy. That is a sign of a disciplined team, though. Handy dandy notebook as always. That is kind of funny, though. Harold Wood says you can do so much-ish off a good running game. So much good stuff. What's up, buddy? Well, then come here. Or sit down. Sit down right there. Watch Pad. Watch iPad. So many good things you can do off the running game. Tracy says, Vanilla, did I miss something? How many turnovers did our defense cause and score on? They only scored on one, but Tracy, they gave up 42 points. The second half, let's see how many points Florida scored in the second half. Let's say they scored 22 in the third and 7 in the fourth. So, Tracy, Florida scored 29 points in the second half. I mean, after an entire half of football, Dan Mullen scored 30 points in the second half, scored half of 60. So let's not get it twisted that they did that. I mean, the first half you give up 13. I mean, LSU, they come out the gate, they started good defensively, but then Florida adjusts and they, if you can't see that LSU's playing man-to-man coverage, quarters defense on the outside, and only rushing 4, Tracy, I'm sorry, but that's vanilla. That's what they call wafer defense. Vanilla. God, this damn mosquito. I thought I killed that son of a gun. Lonnie says Dan Mullen should be fired. No, guys, he was playing for the SEC championship game last year. He's still 4-3. Harold Wood says you did say LSU needed to run more power and gap schemes. Guys, look. The last 6 weeks. I even mentioned that, and we can go back and find it because people like to prove that I'm wrong. But even before the season, 7-8 weeks ago in the second scrimmage, and I'm sitting here watching film, and I'm seeing them have success in gap and power schemes, and then LSU, for whatever reason, gets away from it. And what I believe is Ed Orgeron meddling and telling Jake Peace to run zone runs. What, buddy? I hope you guys like my little co-host here. Come on. You look one last time. But then you're going to sit down. Come on. Come on. All right. Dakota says, yeah, Cam Lewis was looking at the crowd on that what do you call it? The Hail Mary he was. Devin Stobb says 3 straight dubs versus them Gators. That's very impressive. And them even winning the SEC East last year. I mean, Dan Mullen's got to be sick. Ty Grantham's got to be sick. And I would assume that this is the nail in the proverbial coffin for Ty Grantham, the Florida defensive coordinator. It's got to be. It's got to be. Craig Schilling says, Nookie called it. The taunting penalty lit Florida's offense. Yeah, it did. And look, Radar Jones, you guys, you can't let – that can't happen. Go watch iPad. Go watch Pad. That can't happen. And I know Corey Raymond was getting on Radar Jones, but look, that really did spark. That really did spark. Don't pull that down. Don't pull that down. Don't pull the blinds down. Sit down, boy. Sit down and watch Pad. That really did spark their offense. Inside the Swamp says, I want some juice, Blake. Well, Daddy's going to be drinking some juice soon, if you know what I mean. Lonnie Young says, having Glenn Logan inside definitely helped against the inside run game. I think it did too, and I thought he had a very impressive game in his first game back. Normally when you see sit down. Normally when you have guys that they come off a long extended injury, usually they get gassed pretty quickly, but they didn't. He did not today. But I thought LSU had a very, very good scheme against not scheme. Ben's throwing me off. You're throwing me off. Normally he gets gassed, but they had a good rotation is what I'm trying to say. Jaquelin Roy was the reason that you got the pick there at the end because he has a bull rush. He runs over the center. Then Anthony Richardson's got to make a decision, and Damone Clark gets an interception. So, look, I'm a fair weather fan. How am I a fair weather fan? See, this is the problem, is that guys like Jamal come in here and get upset when I'm excited of a win. It doesn't, guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. It does not change the simple fact that Orgeron has issues. He talked about it with Ty Blackledge all weekend long. So don't come in here and say I'm a fair weather fan. when you're in here begging me to call for Orgeron's head, even though I still think Orgeron's got to go at this point. He's going to have to win out, guys. I'm sorry. But if you want to go listen to somebody else, go listen to somebody else, Jamal. It's fine with me. B says, B on YouTube says, Blake, how much are you paying the co-host? Well, considering I'll probably have to pay for a lot of things, I would probably say $200,000 to $300,000 total, if not a couple million, over a lifetime. Over a lifetime. Everybody's saying, hey, Ben. Can you say hey? All right. Sit down, buddy. Daddy's doing his show. Dad show. We're gonna need you a babysitter. You're really ruining Daddy's game post-game show right now. It's okay. Travis LeBlanc says, who cares if you're wrong? Man, today ain't the day to nitpick. Well, we're going to nitpick in reference to the defense. Like, we're going to nitpick today because of the defense. And I know a lot of people are wanting to be excited about the win, but look, there's things you got to clean up. You can't do that in the next couple. Like, you can't live that way. You can't live that way ultimately. Yep, you're going to need a babysitter next weekend, dog. Richie Thomas says, how much will LSU by next weekend? Richie, what do you mean? Nookie says, playing quote-unquote vanilla and having good results can still happen. Yeah, it can still happen, but, again, you had good results. So, for example, let me throw this out here. The defense for LSU last year against Ole Miss had 5 interceptions, and we're calling for Bo Pelini to be run out the field. The same thing they had, another 3 interceptions. Sit down and watch iPad. Sit down. So 2 things can be true at once. Bundy says you can't kill Odrone, the mosquito. Yeah, man, I can't. I thought I killed it. Zachariah Cameron says, didn't they score off of 2? Which one did they score off of? Let's see here. I didn't have 2 pick sixes. No, so what happened is that what you're talking about is LSU scored 14 points off of the first 2 turnovers, first 2 interceptions. They did score on the pick 6. So 21. It's a 21-point swing. It is a 21-point swing. What I'm saying is, and what I thought the person above was saying was that we scored off of a couple of turnovers. No, that's not. I mean, like pick sixes. Richie says LSU will lose against Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. Guys, there's still a lot of buzz around this Orgeron thing that I think fans are going to have to wrap their mind around, win, lose, or draw today. Todd says, big day for recruiting, lots of recruits at the game today. That is true. There were a lot of recruits at the game today. Kevin says, nope, it's not. One game won't save his ass. No, one game won't save Orgeron's butt. Jason says, commentator said official attendance was 96,102. I don't think 96,000 people were there because 96,000 means you look like you're sold out. They weren't sold out. Josh Taylor said, Coach O just saved LSU $17 million for at least another week or two. Well, it won't be $17 million. It'd be like $15 million. But I'm still monitoring some things. We're still monitoring. I mean, after Orgeron's press conference, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. So we'll continue to monitor because look, Ty Blackledge came over, guys. I mean, Ty Blackledge legitimately came over the broadcast today and said that LSU, that he talked to Ed Orgeron and basically said that they feel that it's an inevitable. What he's basically saying is Ed Orgeron told him it's the inevitable. He told him that it's the inevitable. Anthony Mitchell says, look like Coach O is staying. Look, I know he's not. Robert Law says, hashtag Ask Blake, we know players play every day with injuries. Does this win make anyone sitting out with injuries want to come back and play? I don't know that. I really don't know that. But, I mean, Eli Ricks having surgery, Ali Gay having surgery. I mean, what players would come back at this point? I think you'll get guys like Deion Smith back potentially. I don't know who's out that would come back that's notable. I mean, I don't think Derek Stingley's coming back. We saw him on crutches today. So, no. Daniel Glenn says all eyes on 3 for sure. For sure. All eyes were on 3. And look, Ty Davis Price had one hell of a football game. You got to give it to him, man. Hell of a football game. And the offensive line, I mean, push guys around all up and down the field. It was fantastic. Brandon Reese says we could have had over 50 points. Well, we're at 49, so yeah, we could have. We should have. Gino says some of the ref calls were whack. Yeah, some of the holding calls, like the Brian Thomas touchdown, like they called holding on Cam Wire, like that wasn't that was not a holding call, right? Like that was just not a holding call. Not at all. But I'm glad that LSU got the win. Clint says, how many fans you think we had? I don't know. I mean, but I don't think it was 96,000. Like, I really don't think it was 96,000 because it still had a lot of the upper deck that was people weren't in. Tony Weaver, my good friend, says Marlon Martinez is the real MVP. Yeah, Jason Hines isn't playing anymore. Guys, you have a new right guard. And it's interesting. What is interesting behind all of this is who made that decision. Was it an injury? Is that Brad Davis? You know, who ultimately made that call? But Marlon Martinez doing what he did ultimately proved that LSU has talent up front. I mean, guys, you push the last 2 weeks, LSU had very good success against two talented teams in the front seven in Florida and Kentucky. Now you go to Ole Miss, whose defense struggles. Guys, there's a scenario where LSU wins next weekend. But the problem with this is that LSU all season has not shown consistency. They look good one game, the next game they don't. So if LSU can get any kind of consistency, they will win some football games. But last year we looked at, in 2020, we LSU turned some things around to get Florida. This year they have another good win. And look, anything is possible at this point. I've been critical on Orgeron. I've been critical on the staff. Today, they had a very good game plan. Very, very, very good game plan. You got to give it to them. Let's get to a couple more of these comments. Chad Kerr says, Dan Mullen's seat should be on fire. I mean, man, no doubt. Nookie says, is Jack Mashburn not on scholarship? I think he was a walk-on to begin the season. Nookie, he ain't got to worry about that no more. Mark says these kids deserve better. They do. And look, again, these players played their hearts out. They did not give up. A lot of people during the game was like, oh, LSU is giving up. And I'm like, guys, you're winning by 2 touchdowns. Like, what are you talking about? They're giving up. Like, I've never understood LSU fans saying this person give up, that person giving up. Guys, I saw this on Twitter. LSU was up, 20-6, 21-6. And people are saying, oh, LSU is giving up. Guys, you're winning by 15. So, like, what the hell are you talking about? The thing that concerns me, though, look, Florida outgained LSU. And still, I think defensively, if you're not worried about what just happened, man, I don't know. Because I would be certainly worried. Yeah, Dwight McLaughlin with a pick, Micah Baskerville, Jay Ward, and Damone Clark. All having interceptions today. It's huge, man. It's huge. Aaron says, Blake, that's tickets sold. Gotcha. Yeah, because there's not 96,000 people in that in that stadium. Tiki Tac Taco, what's up, Tiki Tac? He says at least Wiggins probably won't pick Florida now, and that's a win. True, it's a big win in recruiting, man.
On 4th and goal. Play safe.
It's a big win. Josh says Coach O is just working on his resume at this point. Maybe. I mean, look, there's still some rumbles. Let's see what he says in the postgame conference. Let's see what he says. And then we'll continue to monitor tomorrow, too. Let's see. Eddie Santos, Ed's got to go. Trail says, seeing Scott Warren on the sideline today, was was it anything behind that? No, he's been on the sideline for a lot of the games. So no. He was on the sideline last week. He was on the sideline this week. No. I mean, and normally he is on the sideline. Brian Sarah Thomas said Cardell Thomas was on the sideline in street clothes, and it was about 60, 70,000 in there. Yeah, and look, to say the least, Cardell Thomas is going to have to figure something out, because if he thinks that he's going to take a position from Marlon Martinez right now, I'm sorry to tell him, but he ain't playing at right guard. He ain't going to play over Marlon Martinez. It's not going to happen. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share to some Facebook groups. We greatly appreciate that if you do. Cole says that hold on Sullivan on that long run that got called back was so bad. Yeah, Cole, it was really bad. Like very, very bad. And look, they had some very ticky-tack calls today. And all of them really on LSU, because Florida did not have a penalty. All of them were pretty bad. Well, maybe not all of them. But still. Chad says also Kirk Herbstreit owes Coach O an apology. I don't know about that one, Chad. I don't know about that one. Eric says Smoking Gator packed tonight. I like it. Peter Smith says Daryl Fontenot don't see us being favored in Oxford. Well, it depends on what happens between Tennessee and Ole Miss. You know, if Ole Miss loses this game, what happens? Just based off the favor, and I don't see LSU being favored in Oxford either, but I think it'd be a 3-point game. I mean, I think that's what the spread would open up at, 3 to 4 points. Because, look, Ole Miss's defense is not good. LSU running the football. And, look, I am really rooting for LSU to make a run. Like, I don't want LSU to lose. And I think that's what people don't understand. It's like, who wants to see LSU lose if you're a fan? Nobody wants to see them lose. Nobody. Somebody, a lot of people keep sending me this Miles Brennan tweet. Don't say a single word about our offensive line. And he's right. Guys, he's right. And look, if you do, I'm just telling you, because and I wish I could show film and break it down. I know Carter the Power Bryant, our good friend, does that on his YouTube channel. But guys, a lot of this was schematics. I mean, do you really think? Let me ask you guys this question: did the offensive line just get better because Cam Wire's back? By the way, Cam Wire's not even playing. Like, what do you think changed? Oh, that's right. This play calling and the scheme changed. When you are not so simplistic offensively, it benefits in your favor. And when you play bully ball with very talented individuals up front, you start punching people in the mouth. Let me say that again. When you start playing bully ball and you're not simple in the running game and you knock somebody in their damn teeth and you say, come get it, Big Daddy, and they don't want no more of it, that's what happens. Sometimes you got to let your big hogs eat. The train's coming through. Daddy's hungry. He wants something to eat. Oh, I heard that. Little man's tooting on here on the open airways. Now that's Rudy Poo. Shoot. Everybody sending us stars and super chats. I've been seeing them. I appreciate you guys sending us the super chats. Ryan Thibodeau says 75K fans at the most. It's more than I expected. Ryan Thibodeau says, how can you hashtag Rudy Poo on 4 turnovers? I don't know. Kevin says, I agree. Defense still struggling and needs to get better. Florida had 4 picks and still scored 42. Yeah, and look, I think that, a lot like last year, guys, when you don't have a lot of scholarship players, it goes down to depth. Like, it completely goes down to depth. It goes down to you can't rotate guys in and out. At the end of the game, your guys that have been in there for so long, their legs get burnt out. And you got to be able to rotate guys in and out. You have to be able to do that. I mean, it's impressive that they got 4 turnovers. They got a pick 6. They got the offense got 14 points off of the other 2 turnovers. And the only reason you didn't score on the other one is because Damone Clark. I mean, you're trying to burn the clock to win the game there. But let's not get it twisted whatsoever. Let's not get that twisted whatsoever. They still did not have a fantastic performance. They got smoked. Ted says makes a difference when the O-line shows up and does a great job. Yeah. Also changes when the scheme changes. Justin says if LSU beats Ole Miss, they'll be ranked again. I don't know. I need to go look through that. I mean, man, that's tough. That's tough. Because then you're saying, I mean, there's a lot of 2-loss teams still in there. I mean, that's tough. Oh, man. Y'all seen this picture going around? There's a picture of Chason, number 41 for LSU, and Kayshon Boutte, and it's Chasing Booty. Y'all see that? Chasing Booty. Oh, man. I don't like these 11 a.m. kickoffs. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I don't like them one bit. Peter Smith says, I don't want to see LSU lose either. Me either. Mark Rich says, please quit taunting, play your game, walk away. Yeah, that's bad, man. And you do got to walk away. Ronnie says, Coach O is the man. Pooh Bear says, most of the penalties were due to coaching, i.e. when someone else becomes the end man, you got to step back. He's talking about the Brian Thomas when 2 guys were on the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I mean, and then the other one with holding. I mean, yeah, Pooh Bear, I'll give you the Brian Thomas one. It's hard for me to what other penalty is on the coaching staff though? Like Radar Jones, the holding. I mean, yeah, I'll give you one of them, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't go there. Nick says, great offensive balance. It was great offensive balance. Fantastic offensive balance. And really, you weren't even really that balanced. I mean, you were more run-heavy today. 45 rushes, 25 rushing attempts, and you had 24 passing attempts. I mean, that was more than – you were more than – you weren't balanced. You were balanced the other way. LSU went from one scheme philosophy to completely other. Guys, if you would have told me that Ty Davis-Price – would have had 36 carries for 287 yards, 8 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns, I would say, well, then did Florida's defense come down with a stomach bug, and are they not playing? Because I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. Let's see. We'll go a little bit longer. We'll go a little bit longer because I do still have to watch the little man. We won't be doing that next week. Nookie says UK and Georgia scoreless after one corner. Brandon says, do you think O still gets the boot? Yes, ultimately I still think he gets the boot. Guys, I mean, one win doesn't change the fact that you're 9-8. It doesn't change the off the field stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I would assume, and I would. I mean, we can't get too emotional to them beating Florida. Now, if Orgeron wins out, then that's a different story. Josh says, stop blaming it on the kid. I can't help it, man. I mean, he's playing, he's watching iPad right next to me. Can't help it. It's distracting, but got to sit here and watch him, man. Phantom says it's not the fans. It's not that fans want LSU to lose. We're just terrified O is retained if he has success late in the year. That's a very true statement. It's a very, very true statement. In O's press conference reference, 4th down, TD call. Pete's call, Coach, do you want to run the ball? Coach O, no. Pick your play. I was wondering if Coach E and Brady asked Coach O what he wanted to do in 19. Maybe I'm overreading it, but I believe there has been some play call hierarchy issues all season. What do you think? I think it was. And I think that Ed even somewhat confirmed that to an extent, right? Like Ed definitely confirmed that to an extent. He even got to a point where, he talked about things that he wanted to be ran instead of what Jake wanted to be ran. And so you got to give Ed Orgeron the credit for that and telling Jake Peetz to run what he runs. Got to give him the credit. And look, if LSU doesn't convert there, Florida's got to go 99 yards, and you see what happens. I mean, you still can have interceptions. You still can have situations where you have an interception there late from DeBon Clark. I mean, nothing's ever a given. Nothing's ever a given. Josh says, what are you hearing on when O would be gone? There's a lot of rumblings. There's some rumblings about tomorrow or Monday, but then that happened last week, and then it's going to happen. It probably won't happen this week, and then the things with Ole Miss will happen. There's people that's talked to me about the end of the season. So, I mean, what I will tell you is that I have been told the thing that I believe from people that I trust in sourcing. What I believe is that there's a plan in place for anything that can happen. If it's after Ole Miss, going into the bye week, if it's at the end of the season, Scott Woodward does have a plan. He does have a plan. Craig Schilling sends us $4.99 via YouTube Super Chat, says to help Blake with a babysitter. Yeah. Carl the Cat Dunn says, let's enjoy this game. TDP was a baller today. Carl, I understand. But when you get questions like this, what do you want me to do? Where's the other question? I don't know. When you have people still asking about, I mean, it's not, and then some people get mad that I don't answer the question. They get mad when I don't say anything. So, again, there's a reason why the numbers have changed, because I'm not teeing off on Orgeron, meaning the bottom line number up top. There's a reason. Because people want to hear during a coaching hire, people want to hear what they want to hear. People were mad at me because I came in here and was excited that we won the game. Ryan Thibodeau says, will most likely coach the rest of the season. Very good chance. It's also a chance he's gone after next week. Josh Taylor says Auburn got stuck with Gus another year just because he beat Bama. Don't want the same to happen to LSU, but I don't think it's the same situation. Ed is too inconsistent. Very true. Very, very true. Richie Roche says babysitter donation. Good idea, Craig. Richie Roche sends us one of our great and fantastic sponsors. Richie, I need to call you because I need some stuff done around the house too. But Richie Roche, one of our good sponsors, 225-937-7220, 225-937-7220. Let them know that Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by one of our good friends and one of our great sponsors here on AYS. Well, I really appreciate that because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. Thank you, my good friend. Mark Richardson says, I'm always excited beating the Gators. Me too. I mean, I do not like Florida at all. Nookie says Georgia scores TD on the first play in the second quarter. How about that? How about that? You know what? Let's go watch that game because I still got some babysitting to do. We might go live tomorrow too. We'll do that. We'll go live tomorrow too. And we'll talk about it more when I don't have to babysit. But Jeffrey says, hashtag ask Blake, where can I get one of those throwback caps you're wearing? Man, I forgot where I got it, man. I forgot where I got it. I think like FanDuel, Fan Side or something like that. Carl the Cat Dunn says, O-line did a good job today. Congratulations. They did. Josh says, not going to happen, though. Not going to happen, though. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night, call it a day. We'll see y'all probably again tomorrow. That way we can break more of this game down and have a good day. But until then, guys, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all soon.